What's up guys, welcome back. This is Probing Paul episode number 98, my monthly Q&A where I answer your questions and occasionally also open packages in the mail time segment. I'm going to be doing that today, but also full disclosure, I am a little bit under the weather. So even though this is the busiest time of the year, we have a charity live stream coming up on Saturday, I still couldn't resist a good probing.
Excellent!
Today's video is brought to you by the Paul's Hardware store on paulshardware.net, the only official source for Paul's Hardware merchandise, tantalizing t-shirts, brilliant beer sets, high-quality hoodies, and more, all featuring the classic thumbscrew for tasteful and refined viewers, or the 8-bit thumbscrew for tasteful and refined viewers who hate curves. New designs are added sporadically and at random, so head over to paulshardware.net and get some of that sweet, sweet merch right now. Or not right now, after you watch the video. Either way. To begin, all of this episode's questions were taken from the previous episode of Probing Paul in the comments section, so you can find the playlist in the video description down below. This is the Probing Paul history, looking all the way back in time to previous probings. And because I'm fighting off a cold today, I'm going to ask you guys to cut me some slack. I've chose some pretty softball questions for today, and they're all kind of derived from last month's question, which is what's the best PC upgrade? So because I've also been doing some Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals videos recently, I have links to most of the stuff I'm going to be talking about down in the video description. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The first question is a good one from Pibab. Is it good for Paul's health to be probed so much? I've always considered it to be one of those nice sort of regular cleansing things, like a purification process I go through, and that makes me think of like an enema, but but maybe that's just the cold meds I took earlier or something like that. The answer I would give you today is perhaps not, because I seem to have come down with a cold, although this might be either from my daughter or from the Thanksgiving festivities from the past weekend where there were kids around and stuff like that, and you know they always carry disease. All right, getting into my first sort of question, technically not a question, but I made it into a question. This one comes from Sirin and starts not actually a PCIe card, because again, last month we were talking about the useful PC upgrades that are stuff other than like a CPU or a GPU. Something useful you can do with your case's rear expansion slots: if you have unused USB headers on your motherboard, you can get a cable with a bracket which simply exposes them as external USB ports. This is one of those little bits of advice that I feel like isn't shared quite often enough. Your motherboard often has ports that don't get used, especially if you have USB 2.0 or USB 3.0 headers on the board that you don't actually connect up to front panel connectors on your case. It's also a very inexpensive upgrade. I actually have several of these hanging around from like previous builds that I've just set aside so I can pull it out and plug it in if I ever need to. But for only about 10 bucks, you can get one of these USB 3.0 devices with an internal cable, plug it into your motherboard's header, and then you got a couple USB 3.0 ports on the rear of your case, which would otherwise be unusable. Look, there's also a 2-pack. Save yourself $1. Likewise, USB 2.0 ports can be very useful for plugging in stuff like mice or keyboards or things that don't need USB 3.0 bandwidth. So having extra USB 2.0 ports can also be pretty nice. This one gives you 4 of them with 2 internal header connectors, and that one's just a little over $10. So even though this isn't technically a question, it was very highly rated in the comments section last month, so I wanted to give a little answer or a little bit of a highlight for that one. The next question is also not a question. Remember, you guys are cutting me slack because I'm sick. This one's from TuneIn6844. Talking about the mention of optical drives last month. Their case in a build from 2020 was chosen specifically because it still had a slot for an optical drive. I'm guessing a 5¼ inch slot bay thing, since I never quit buying music on CDs. Like many of you, I've also noticed that streaming services kind of hit their peak and then have gradually tapered off and become less and less useful, or provide you less and less actual content to view, or you have to deal with like lower video quality because the stream has been compressed, that sort of thing. Or of course, just listening to CDs can be nice, or if you actually have a physical CD, using a CD reader to rip MP3s that are your own that you can do with like really high quality lossless codec or something like that. Once again, this ties into some of the products I was recommending just over the weekend for Cyber Monday and Black Friday. Unfortunately, the prices of these have gone back up. Some of these were on sale. I think this was like $15 off or something, but this basically has the functionality you'd be looking for an external device. It's a Blu-ray, CD, DVD drive, USB 3.0 connectivity. It's also got the USB hub as well as a card reader built in. So I like the additional functionality of that. This isn't quite as good of a deal as it was during the Black Friday timeframe, but this is what I would recommend to anyone who was looking to get an optical drive for an existing computer or a laptop that doesn't have one, because they're easy to plug in and they give you a broad range of functionality. Also in the Cyber Monday video, I pointed out this one because it's just kind of interesting because it integrates a SATA dock as well. So just for the purposes of having like one of these devices that can do more than just have CDs and DVDs. This one though, I think is only a USB 2.0 hub, so I found that a little bit disappointing. It's $47. It's also just CDs and DVDs. This one's more reasonably priced. It doesn't have that SATA dock, but it is USB 3.0 with the hub built in. This one was $25 or $26 for the Black Friday deals. It's only back up to 30 or so, and it comes in a few different colors. So I have actually ordered one of these, and I was going to unbox it during mail time today, but it hasn't arrived yet. Shipping in the few days after Black Friday, Cyber Monday can get a little backed up. But okay, thank you TuneIn6844 for that not a question that I still treated as a question. And here's one more not question from Yesterday Soup, which is a name I just like. Also cool clippy avatar there. A blower cleaner. Less dust means less throttling means more frames. Yes, keeping your PC clean can sometimes lead to better performance, especially if it's clogged up enough that your temperatures are going up. And this I found to be an excellent segue to something that I also bought during the Black Friday Cyber Monday sales. Unfortunately, the price on this has also gone back up. It was on like a flash sale for Cyber Monday, but I actually already have one of these. Don't tell him. I bought Kyle one of these for Christmas. I'm gonna give it to him during our charity live stream. But this is the Wolfbox MF100, and it is a blower, a cleaner. As long as you don't have long hair that can get sucked in here, this is just a really cool device, and then it just blasts the air. I mean, like, for real, that was probably dangerous, the way that I did that. It's got 3 levels. That one's a little bit more sensible. Yeah, very powerful air blower. It's got a bunch of little attachments to help yourself get into nooks and crannies. For really efficient and effective cleaning of electronics like motherboards. I have motherboards that have sat out too long and have gotten dusty and stuff like that. But blasting it with this, while brushing it with this, which is one of my wife's old makeup brushes that I requisitioned for dusting of electronics purposes. But it's just fantastic. It's a great solution. So again, don't tell Kyle, I got him one of these for Christmas. And now we're switching over to mail time, opening some packages that have been sent to me. If you'd like to send me something, my P.O. box is listed in the video's description, and perhaps even on screen right now if my editor Joe put that there. The first package I wanted to open though is actually still on its way. Apparently FedEx is a little backed up right now, but our good friend Mike, aka MB67, who sends us something every single year, whether it's a PC build or a really high-end graphics card, has also sent me something. I don't know exactly what it is though, so we're going to need to do sort of a live unboxing of that during our charity live stream, so tune in for that on December 6th, Saturday. We're going to be starting at around 10 a.m. Here we have our first actual package to open, and this one actually wasn't sent directly to me. This one was sent to Joe, my editor, by a friend in Discord, a Discord participant whose name is Mike N. And also full disclosure here, Joe already opened this, so I retaped it so I could open it again. I know it feels like I'm lying to all of you, but underneath the very adequate and ample packaging, we have these. And one more. I hear liquid sloshing around because these are bottles of alcohol. Whiskey, to be more precise. Chattanooga whiskey. We have straight rye malt whiskey, straight bourbon whiskey, and straight bourbon whiskey cask, which I will admit doesn't mean a whole lot to me. These are definitely going to be something that Kyle really appreciates and that I will definitely try some of, but not being a huge whiskey drinker, and also depending on how much I've healed and cured from this cold by then, I don't know, maybe this is a cure for a common cold. Is that a thing? Drinking the whiskey? A couple notes to wrap up this wonderful gift though. Apparently this is technically not whiskey. We're calling it olive oil because if you guys used to watch me and Kyle's live show, we had a long-standing, I don't know if I should say promise, inside joke. Anyway, we were supposed to do olive oil wrestling in like a kiddie tub, and it never really materialized. I don't think we got like quite enough donations to unlock that ever. But Mike is apparently also a Discord wizard who has offered to help us do some stream setup, so that's super cool too. Mike, thank you so much for sending these over. We'll crack them open on the live stream. I'll give a taste and let you know what I think. Kyle will give a taste and give you a much more informed and educated answer because he's actually a whiskey drinker. Excellent though, it's good to be prepared for our charity stream. For the children, of course. This next package is from Russell P. from Cordova, Tennessee, and I believe it is also a little bit sloshy, which makes me curious. But I did not pre-open this package. You guys are getting the authentic unboxing experience here. We have a letter, I will look at that. Oh, glorious. Look how big these are. Oh my gosh. Do these count as growlers? The Crowler. This is so ideal, and when I looked at the package, I was like, Russell P., that's familiar. Yes, This is not Russell's first rodeo in terms of sending us stuff to drink, and as you can see, these crowlers, as they're called, have been packaged with care. Tops are taped up. We have Isle of Skye Scottish Ale, 30 IBUs and 7.09% alcohol by volume. This one here is Tennessee Cream Ale. I'm looking forward to that one. 5.4 ABV, 29 IBUs. And then we have a true Bombay India Pale Ale, IPA, 6.3% ABV, and this one's a bit hoppier at 58 IBUs. Russell also wrote a nice note. Hey Paul, it looks like you've been running low on beer. Here, take this, your parasocial buddy, Russ, aka Russell P. from Tennessee. Russell, thank you once again. The previous beers that were sent over were fantastic, just really, really good. So Bosco's, they obviously do a fantastic job. It is a restaurant and brewery in Memphis, and these, Kyle can't have any of these. These are all for me, okay? I'm just kidding, I'll share with Kyle too. All right, 2 more things to show you guys, just very briefly. This one was actually sent over directly by Nvidia. Apparently they don't watch my tech news very closely because I do lob some criticism towards Team Green from time to time on the show. They were still kind enough to send over an RTX 5080 Founders Edition graphics card, and this one is still in its like exterior packaging box, similar to the ones you might have seen a bunch of us tech media who got samples when the 5080 launched and the 5090 and everything. So I'm gonna leave this in the box because I think we wanna have that pristine experience for the eventual winner of this, because this is gonna be yet another giveaway item for our charity live stream. I have 2 system builds, one that's already been put up, the Corsair build towards the end of November. I have another build in the Cooler Master Cube 540. That one should be going up tomorrow or the day after, but before the live stream. For these physical giveaways, because it is very difficult to do international shipping, they're gonna be for the US and Canada only, but we're also gonna be doing just sort of a hard cash giveaway for international viewers. I have a couple different ideas for how that's gonna go down, but don't worry, international viewers, we got something lined up for you guys as well. All right, I've got one last package here. It's kind of big, and for this one I was on the fence about showing it because I'm gonna be doing another sort of a tease, but I was also just really excited about this arriving, so I thought I'd show it to you guys. Some of you might recognize that little label on the box because this is a Lego set, and it's actually a very special Lego set, Adventure in Transylvania, part of the Bricklink designer program. Oh, that's so cool. So if you guys aren't aware, Bricklink, which is an online marketplace for buying and selling Lego parts, also has the Bricklink Designer Program, which is kind of a crowdfunding way of getting cool sets that are designed by members of the community. So this one was a finalist, and actually the crowdfunding started all the way back in June, which is when I jumped into the crowdfunding and supported it. It has finally arrived. It's 4,056 pieces. Adventure in Transylvania, so it has like sort of a Dracula theme with vampires and stuff like that, but just one of the coolest looking castles I feel like I have ever seen. Now, part of the reason I was hesitant to do the unboxing of this is because I have a brick building channel, which I have made, and I've posted like some pictures to there, and I told people I was gonna be posting videos, and I actually have made a couple videos for that channel that I haven't posted yet. I've been intending to make an introductory video for that channel, but I really do want to do that before the end of the year. So after the charity stream, when I have a couple weeks before Christmas, my plan is to do the introductory video for that channel. Then I have a couple videos to post that I can do fairly quickly, and then at some point in the future, I will also be doing a video on this build. This is already out, and there's already other YouTube videos out there on there if you're interested in more, but this one is actually pretty hard to get a hold of, because from my understanding from all the Bricklink designer sets from this particular series, this one has been the hardest to obtain on the secondary market and like eBay and stuff like that, and they're going for double what the original buy-in price was. But that is all for this episode of Probing Paul and Mail Time. A closing reminder that my store at paulshardware.net has its end of the year sale going on, so you can get some discounts if you purchase $50 or $100 worth of merchandise. All very high quality stuff, so check it out at paulshardware.net. A big thank you to everyone who has sent in some stuff. If you'd like to send me something, my PO box is down in the video's description. And don't forget to join us for the Awesome Hardware Extra Life charity live stream taking place on Saturday, December 6th. We're aiming to start at about 10 a.m. Pacific time. Thank you guys once again for watching. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. We'll see you all in the next one.